The story you're about to hear may sound like the script of a deranged horror story, but I promise you that it is very, very real. The following will contain graphic verbiage of foul, grotesque, and sexual deviance, including violence and debauchery. Viewer discretion is most certainly advised. It's February 23rd, 2022, and Tara Packenick returns to her home in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Her son is supposed to be there, but the house is eerily silent. As she eventually makes her way around the home, she stops at the top of the stairs of her basement, and as she descends the staircase, she's met with a brutal massacre of a scene. There's blood everywhere, and in a bucket nearby on the floor, she discovers a bloody towel. With all the fear in the world in the pit of her stomach, she finds the courage to remove the towel, where she finds the decapitated head of her son.
Okay. Did you both see this?
I opened the towel, I picked up the towel and dropped it because I don't know what the is, man. I had bad vision, and she's like, is that what I think? I don't know. What the
Do you want to stay with those two? I'll just go see it.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Go right there. Look right, there's a bunch of tall on it.
Just keep that. Quite a bit of blood down here. I want to clear this rest of this house. We've got 2 people in the house for sure.
Shad Thyrion, age 25, had no idea that when he took a young woman back to his mother's home to engage in drug use and sexual relations, that would be his last day on Earth. The beginning of the end started just 2 days prior, on February 21st. It's around 9:30 p.m., and Shad is picked up from his mother's home by 25-year-old Taylor Schabusiness, a woman with whom he'd been sharing a sexual relationship with, despite her being married. That night, they're joined by a friend who joins them at an apartment on Eastman Avenue to smoke marijuana. In addition to weed, they also indulged in meth and injected a drug known as trazodone into their bloodstream, which is an antidepressant. Soon after, the third wheel who joined them would part ways, and both Taylor and Shad would move the party back to his mother's family home. Once there, Shad's fate is just moments away from unraveling. The two moved to the basement, where they began to engage in sexual intercourse. As they'd done several times previously, according to Taylor, while having intercourse, they engaged in asphyxiation, where they would sometimes use chains and rope and various other tools. But this time was different. As Taylor began choking Shad, he began to cough up blood, but she didn't stop. Even as he began to turn pale and the life slowly faded from his body, she gripped tighter. Taylor would continue to choke Shad to death for about 5 minutes. Afterwards, she performed oral sex on him and used toys on his body for hours.
Is that also when you used the dildo?
Yeah.
Did you have sex with his body at all? At any point, or any type of sexual contact? You know, obviously the dildo and stuff, but...
I grinded on him, I put the dick in his ass.
You grinded on?
Yeah, I listened.
Did you ever put his penis in your vagina? Or you just grind on him?
Did you see before that you performed a roll on him?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was after he was dead?
Yeah. And then he got half. He was like half hard while I was still sucking while he was dead. Yeah.
Okay.
playing with him, or
That is part of playing with him.
That was part of the name.
did you?
Actually, I was severing his head while I was doing that too with him.
You're stopping his
Yeah.
So it wasn't only a couple hours before you severed his head? Did you fall asleep at any point in time? Or? So how long do you think you were in that basement? Because you didn't leave until like 3 or 4 this morning, right? But what about during the day? What did you do during the day?
I don't know, like I was kind of like dozing off, like nodding out.
He was dead already? Was his head still on?
No, I took that off. That was the first thing I took off.
Okay.
I wanted the head.
What about the rest of his body?
I didn't even take it. And then the rest of his body, it's like on the fucking I don't even know what it is. It's in a big blue container, you know? And
Is it
it's big
a container?
Tupperware. It's like a big Tupperware. It's not a Tupperware, but it's a Tupperware container, like a
big storage code?
yeah, one of those. And then
So that's where the body parts are in? Or I thought they were in a black bag.
they're scattered around.
Okay, so both probably. But when did you start, cutting up his body?
I don't know, like almost right away. I was sucking and cutting at the same time.
Okay. But what about the rest of his body parts? Did that take all day? Did you?
I was getting pissed off at the dismemberment process, actually.
Did it take a while?
It took a while.
Yeah, because like I was nodding out. So
Okay, so you're kind of slipping, kind of nodding in and out. Have you taken any other drugs?
I should have took drugs. I probably would have helped, but I didn't. And I just sat there. Yeah.
Do you remember it being daylight at all?
Yeah, when I looked at the window and I seen the daylight.
And was his body together still then?
His
Or?
body was never together. It's just like, I had fun with him for that 2 hours and then boom.
So, but it took a while to cut the rest of the body up? Okay.
All messed up too.
So, I'm just trying to, so I understand your rules. So you said you cutting and then you cut a knot off, you kind of wake up and start cutting again.
Yeah.
So it took you a little while to cut the body apart. There were times where when I napped or whatever, you didn't work nonstop to dismember his body, right?
I mean, I probably did. Well, in my sleep, I do things in my
You
sleep.
do things in your sleep.
But yeah, like, that's probably it right there.
Did anybody ever come downstairs at all?
Tara came down. She came downstairs and then with the kitty cat, and then she set the kitty cat down. Flipped over the kitty cat, and then the kitty cat was walking around. And I threw the kitty cat, and then yeah.
Did you talk to her?
I'm like, hey Tara. I don't know, it's just weird. Cause like it was an open space, like there was no closed door, and I'm like, it was weird.
Did she saw anything?
I have no idea. I have to ask her.
The following morning, she proceeded to dismember his body with various knives she'd found around the house. After positioning Shad's body onto the bed, she severed his head over a bucket and storage tote to contain the blood that she then dumped down the basement shower drain. But her dismemberment was far from over, as she returned to the body and removed his organs, including his penis, before placing them in plastic bags and cardboard boxes. 2 days later, Shad's mother would find his severed head in a bucket that had been recovered with a towel. Once police arrived, they would find all of this evidence in the home and begin the search for Taylor, the person last known to be with Shad. As they continued to gather evidence in the home, officers would later find Taylor hiding out in her parked minivan, and inside of it, additional body parts that had been placed inside of a crock pot box. Her clothes were soaked in blood, She was cut, and visible deep scratches were on her arms. With a history of fleeing and eluding, authorities made sure to take no risks when apprehending Taylor. As they escorted her to the station, all of the gory details would come out on camera. As Taylor sat and explained, without an ounce of remorse to be found anywhere, it was discovered that she'd removed a GPS tracker from her ankle sometime just before the murder. At trial, Taylor's lawyer entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity on September 1st. And on February 14th of 2023, Taylor would attack her very own defense lawyer after he requested the trial date be pushed back so a clinical psychologist could assess her ability to stand trial competently. After Taylor was tackled to the ground by security, her lawyer immediately filed a motion to be removed from the case. He was replaced by attorney Christopher Froelich, who then requested that the judge remove himself from the case, as him witnessing the attack might sway his judgment. But Judge Walsh declined. As the trial proceeded, the question was asked of why Taylor would do this. Whatever deranged reasoning she'd found within her soul, nothing can justify this type of killing. It was cold, it was harsh, and it was grotesque. And on July 26th, a jury would find Taylor Schabusiness guilty of first-degree murder, mutilation of a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault. Her sentencing is set for September 26th of this year. May Shad Thyrion rest in peace.